Don't touch anything.
It's the greatest find yet. Nothing compares to it.
But it's definitely something you should hear.
This is The Real Deal with Larry Lawton.
Welcome to The Real Deal with me, Larry Lawton. We have a great show today. I'm going to have a special guest from Ireland. Yes, this man came from Ireland, and he happens to be just a gay guy, I guess. And he's going to talk about how the experience of being an outed. I guess we'll talk about that in a minute. And I think it's going to be a great guest because I always want to talk, and everybody knows how pro-gay, and I want to know, and even when I'm politically incorrect. Before I get started, check us out on all our platforms. I want to thank Discord. We got GTA coming out. We got a whole bunch of stuff. Our cigars are going crazy. Christmas coming up. You're going to be promo codes everywhere. The book, Gangster Redemption, is everywhere. So check that out as well. The cookbook as well. Am I missing anything, Nick? Oh, yes. How about my bookie and Oliva? My sponsor for this show is Oliva Cigar, the third largest cigar company in the world. They make my cigar. I deal with the CEO, the COO. I'm going to Nicaragua. Matter of fact, I'm going with Laura, my friend Laura, to Nicaragua in January 22nd. We're going there for a week, and it's going to be a lot of fun. I'll be actually rolling cigars. I'll be in the fields. They're the biggest landowner in Nicaragua. They own all the fields. They actually built schools. Very, I call them a very progressive, very good company. Actually, 60% of their workforce is female. They're a really, really good company. I want to thank them. And we have a sponsor. It's called mybookie.ag. Mybookie.ag. Check them out as well. They are great, and they've been a good sponsor. And if you go use promo code Lawton, you get 50% match, meaning you put up $100, you get $150 to play. Put up $50, you get $75 to play. And that's use promo code Lawton. You might as well. You're going to be betting Sunday football. So hit it up now, get the free money. With that said, I'd like to welcome Owen. How you doing, Owen?
I'm doing good, Larry. I'm doing good. How are you?
I just met you, and you're a fun guy. The smile is very infectious. No, I love that. You seem happy in life, and I think that's important and stuff.
Oh, absolutely.
How old are you, Owen?
I am 30.
Can you lock him?
4.
Nick?
Does he need
Okay. Do you need to be locked? Would it help? It doesn't matter. This is the real deal. We're talking. If I lock that chair so you can't go back, is it better? Okay, you're good. You're 30 years old.
34.
34. Same age as my son.
Oh,
my son was born in 1989.
Yeah.
Same age as Ryan. Matter of fact, my oldest is Lauren John's oldest, and my youngest is Andrea's age.
Okay.
So she was born in 95. But so you're 34 years old. You come here. How does an Irishman? No, were you? First of all, let's get back to your story. Were you gay your whole life, or did you know you were gay your whole life, or did you?
People always sort of ask me that, and it's sort of hard to give an answer because I'm not 100% sure of the answer myself. As far back as I can remember, like whenever I was in my early teens, I had a couple of interactions with girls probably that I just knew it didn't feel natural to me.
Okay.
So that was sort of the first sign, and then as I progressed through sort of my early teen years, I noticed other guys. I suppose it sort of took my fancy more so than the girls, and then I knew that there was something there. So where I come from is sort of like rural Ireland in the middle of nowhere, so it's not a common thing. It wasn't talked about. I didn't know who I could talk to about it, so I did have to internalize it a lot and sort of figure out.
Yes, are your parents okay with everything?
They are. They
Good.
absolutely are.
I've
been very lucky whenever you hear some of the horror stories
that
are out there. But I came out sort of a bit later. I came out to a lot of my friends first. And then whenever I was about 17 or 18 or so, my dad actually just asked me one day. We were just sitting there, and then just out of the blue, he just asked me if I was gay. And I said, yeah. And that was that. I was very lucky that I didn't have to physically come out myself, because I did wonder how to do it, and I did wonder how it would react. My parents come from a different generation, obviously, than I do.
In my generation, believe me, I know.
Yeah. So I was a wee bit nervous how they would react, and fortunately enough, that burden was taken off me, and he asked me, and I said yes, and that was it.
Did you go to a private school or
I went to public school.
Public school.
Public school.
Yeah, in the United States, you know, they have Catholic schools and all this kind of stuff, and Christian schools, and they're the biggest hypocrites in the world.
Totally.
Listen, I'll give you a funny story. Maybe you guys know this at your age. Nick here is 26 years old, and he goes to a Catholic school, and they make him do YMCA in the school, and obviously is that the biggest, gayest song and the video. He didn't know it was gay. I said, Vic, we were out the other day, and he goes, Larry, why do your generation think, say anti this about transgender, anti? I'm not my generation, and he's not. We're very open. And he goes, because in the 70s, you guys promoted the gay agenda. And I go, what do you mean? He goes, I just witnessed a rock concert where the lead singer and the bass player were humping or dry humping on stage. And I look at Kiss, who puts makeup on their faces and their cocks are hanging out with tight pants, and of course Rod Stewart, and I can go on and on. And then I says, well, really, did you ever hear some disco and see some disco videos? I put YMCA on and Macho Man. I love the songs. I love them. And I go, see, that's the Ramrod. That's in Greenwich Village, New York. I don't know if you've ever been in New York City. And that is actually I have a friend of mine who was was the lead chef. Michelle might even know who he is. He owns a restaurant around here. He's a top-notch chef. He's a gay guy, and he actually did the cooking at if you guys ever heard of Stonewall. Stonewall is a famous place in New York where the gay rights came about, pretty much. And when the police went in there to do stuff crazy, it was a very sad time. I remember because I was a young kid at the time. I was like 1970, I think, or 69, and I was 9 years old. And everybody heard about it, but everybody was like such hypocrites.
Oh, totally.
How is it being gay in Ireland? Maybe compared to the United States, if you know anything about being gay in the United States.
From what I know, from what we hear, obviously, you obviously only ever hear the horror stories whenever it comes to anything like that. I've been very lucky. The friend group that I have has been very lucky in our experiences.
Here?
No, at home.
At home.
But then I do hear the stories about, all the atrocities that are faced to gay people here in America, and it baffles me. Like America, I love coming here. I have a lot of good friends here. I've had really good experiences here, but you hear the stories whenever we're back home, and it's like, how is that okay, and how is the laws that are being passed and the laws that are being revoked and overturned, like how are we at that stage in our lives where people think that that's okay, and there's actually people out there that support that? Whereas at home, we had the referendum back in 2016, I think it was, for same-sex marriage. It was an overwhelming pass, so we've been very lucky in that sense that we have progressed on from 10, 20 years ago compared to what it is 50 years ago. So we have been very lucky. So for my own experiences, I've been very lucky as well. I've never had to experience. You get the odd, whenever I was growing up, just like the teenage slandering, because I was out to a lot of people. Whenever it wasn't a common thing, there was a lot of closeted people in my year in school. And I remember one of the jocks, as you would call them, coming up to me and asking me if I was, and I didn't know how it was going to go. Like, should I be scared? Should I deny who I am just out of fear of some sort of retaliation? But he was very open about it, one of the people that you wouldn't expect to be. So yeah, I was very lucky.
I've been around the block a lot, military, prison, everywhere, and I used to say I think everybody is bisexual, to a degree. I'm not saying whether it's in the thought,
I would agree with that.
Whether it's in thought, whether it's in experimenting, whether it's actually whatever it is. I mean, I remember when I was a kid, we used to have circle jerks. I mean, you think about them, and are they normal? Yeah, I mean, they were normal when I grew up.
Yeah.
And what are you doing? You're comparing, you're looking. I go, hey, that's pretty wild. You know what I mean? So my point is, it's good. I mean, I just think too many people put too much emphasis on it. I'm more of a person like, I'm what they call in America, at least, as a true libertarian.
Okay.
Meaning, I don't care what you do or I do, whether it's drugs, whether it's sex, long as it's not with kids, and long as it's not harming somebody else. I don't. My pleasures shouldn't put your pleasures out of whack in public. But what I do in my own home is my business.
Oh, absolutely. I totally agree with that. I think that if you're being safe and legal and no one is intentionally being hurt, or no one, as you say, kids or anyone under the age.
Oh, I'm
who
very big
cannot-
against that.
Yeah, who can't consent or anything like that. What you do within the comfort of your own home and who you are, go for it. Knock yourself out.
Now, in Ireland, do they have the two political parties like we do, Democratic, and I don't know the politics. I know you have, well, of course, I remember the Irish wars and stuff of that nature, but I'm talking about political parties.
We do, but that's sort of more focused on religion, as opposed to like as has been for the past decades. So it is, Catholics versus Protestants and unionism versus republicanism. And all the republics are fighting for United Ireland, whereas the unionists want to stay within the United Kingdom. So there's more of an emphasis on that.
But there's not an emphasis with like in the United States, Republicans. They, I'm what they call a fiscally conservative person,
Okay.
but very socially liberal.
Okay.
So I don't like to give free money away, but I will help it. I don't think any elderly person should ever have to eat cat food or make a choice between, she made a bad choice. Oh, she was, stop the bullshit. She's an elder person. If she needs medicine and food, let's give it to her. I think we're at that stage. Obviously, Republicans want to get in your business. They say less government, but then when it comes to abortion, when it comes to issues of sexuality, or the church has the right to do this, or again in sex and all stuff, they want to get in your business, and I can't stand it. Now Democrats are the other way. They want to just give, and we can't. We're going to break our own country.
But I think they focus on, I think, and all political parties in all different contexts are, in my opinion, focus on the wrong things. Like at the minute, the Northern Ireland Assembly, because I'm from the north of Ireland, not typically the south of Ireland, which is how I classify myself as coming from the north of Ireland. I don't reckon.
Northern, are you where Rory McIlroy is? Do you know who Rory McIlroy is?
Rory McIlroy
of course, he's got to be a king in Ireland.
Yeah.
I got pissed at him. I was the biggest fan of Rory.
That's all.
Okay, I'll take him. Nah. This is the real deal. You can do that. We can be on. I can put her on. I tell people, they say, why is it called the real deal? Because whatever happens, we made a mailman famous as we're a top show, top 1% in the world. And hi, Laura.
Hi, Larry.
Laura's been on here enough. Everybody knows Laura. And we're talking about the wedding, and we're talking about how the differences in sexualities in Ireland, the United States. And he's a really good. He's willing to talk. He's a good. I remember I was looking for a host.
I told you.
I was looking for a co-host. I mean, it would have been perfect. Because we're going to talk about a couple issues here. And I don't know how Ireland is compared to the United States. Okay, with children, I don't believe we should be taking a child and saying to him, or 9 or 10 years old, he says, I'm a girl. I want to be a girl. And then we could let that young person take hormones to try to become a woman. I don't think that person has the mental capacity or even the logical. And here's why. We don't let we don't let kids vote till 18 or go in the military till 18. And we should be later, to be honest, because they're still kids. You're at that age, 34 now. 18 is a kid.
Yeah.
Why are we letting young people make the choice, whether it's 13 years old, that I want to be a girl, and then give them hormones, which I listen to a lot of shows, hormone that's not, you can't reverse it once you give it.
No, once it starts.
Once it starts, you can't reverse it. So how are we doing that? I don't believe in that. Now, as a gay person, how do you feel on that?
There's a couple of things that I think about whenever it comes to that. First of all, I agree with you to a certain extent. I absolutely do agree with you. But like, where is that age limit for you? Is it 18? So the day before, the month before they turn 18, they can't have it. They cannot have it. But the day they turn 18, they can. What is that difference in the month? Do you know what I mean? So where does that age dependency on the hormone treatments start or stop and start?
Well,
I agree.
It's a good question, but there's a logical answer for it, actually. We set dates or age limits as a general principle, and it should be done just like DUIs or drinking or buying a handgun or whatever ages you're talking about. If you had no date and you said, well, when we think they're mature, You can't do that because some young person might be very mature at 18 and another person is very immature at 18.
Absolutely.
Just like the military. I went in the military at 17 and I look back and I go, I went in the military and they trained me with guns and everything else. And was I ready? I was very mature. Our time was different back then, but still, mentally, was I? No, I don't think I was.
Well, what age do you think? What age do you think that should be then?
Well, I actually think nobody should. It's not even 18. I think first of all, science, not Larry Lawton, not anybody else. The collective world of science and psychology says that the male brain does not mature until it's 25. Okay. And the female brain does not mature until it's 23.
Yeah.
Now that's that's science not my science. I'm not sure if you could hold somebody back or not, but take care, Lo. See you later. If you could do that, but there has to be an age limit higher than 12, 13. You're hearing kids take these life, and then later they actually say, I was just going through a phase. Or I didn't know what I was doing, and that kind of stuff. So I don't know. That's a good question, and I want to hear it from the gay community side. Do they have a stance on that? Do they care? Is it individual preferences? Is it what?
I think it all depends on who you're actually talking to. I am a member of that community and a proud member of that community, but you would have other people in that community who would fight that position a lot harder than I would. That should be their choice. They're young enough, they know what they want. We should be supporting them. I'm not going to use the word encouragement because that's too much of a vague term, but offering. If it was me and it was my child, I don't think that I would be enforcing it on them at such a young age, but I would be exploring.
Not forcing it, even letting them do it.
Well, not even, okay, then letting them do it. I don't know if I would let them do it, but I would certainly be encouraging of that route. Like, I wouldn't be shutting it down completely. I'd be looking for other avenues that they could go down to explore it. Do they have a fuller, vaster knowledge? Do they know as much as they think they do? How can I support them? I think there should be those other sorts of resources rather than automatically jumping to HRT or whatever options are available to you. But it's very hard for me to say because I've always identified as a cis white man.
Yeah. Cis means, it took me a long time to get this one. I think cis is sissy, so it's a sissy guy. But no, cis means you're actually straight acting, right?
No, it's cis is you're biologically what you were born with is what you are. But then again, there's that there sort of interpretation that people have of that as well. They use it in such a broad term now against all parts of the community that it's not as straightforward as it used to be. You know what I mean? Because obviously you started off as just straight.
That we're going to get into in a minute about all these acronyms and shit that
and
confuses good people.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? And it's not my place to say which one's right or wrong. I identify how I identify and I feel how I feel. But I'm not going to enforce that onto somebody else and try and change their belief system that they should think the same as me.
Well, I agree because first thing when people say, "Well, I identify," well, what are you gonna identify as a fucking dog next? What the fuck? I identify. Well, you're a guy or a girl. What would your penis or your pussy? What do you have? I'm not asking you that. I'm saying in the essence of a conversation with somebody. I don't ever do that. I end up putting in my head, okay, let them feel that they, does that make sense?
That sort of goes back to what you were saying about, letting them live their lives and all that. If that person, I'm not saying that I agree with it. I'm not saying that it's right or it's wrong. If that, just to use your own example there, if that person identifies as a dog and what they're doing isn't harming you and has absolutely no impact in your life whatsoever, who are you to question that?
I'm not questioning it, but I'm not going to identify him and say, hey, dog.
I don't mean you specifically. Yeah. I mean people in general. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
I agree. The biggest thing is in the Republican Party, they used to say, "Oh, I don't believe in gay marriage. What's next? They're gonna marry a goat?" I said, "Go let him marry a fucking goat. I could give a shit." Because if a goat could cook, I might marry to a goat. But my point is, it does not matter. My point. So they want to marry an animal. Who gives a shit? What is a guy that on my bearing? And I agree with you on that. How is the laws on the transgenders in Ireland compared to here? Do they let young people? Is it accepted in the schools? Is it stuff
in the south of Ireland? It's the same anywhere. You do have Republican versus Democrat sort of thing. We have those translations in Ireland, and you have people who are fighting for it and people who are against it. And it is getting to the stages now where teachers are being encouraged to not talk about certain subjects and all that there sort of stuff. And then again, you go into separation of church and state and all that there sort of stuff. The laws itself, I'm not going to sit here and pontificate because I'm not 100% sure. But I know in the north of Ireland, it's a lot more backwards than it is in the south of Ireland, because the focus is primarily there on a united Ireland. You know, that there's taken front and centre, to the point where we have the Northern Ireland Assembly after the Good Friday Agreement of 1997, whenever the ceasefire was declared, and you know the Republican or the dissidents gave up their weaponry, and then we established our own government. It was sort of going well. We haven't had a Northern Ireland Assembly in the past couple of years because they're so focused primarily. The Republicans want to are trying to pass the Irish Law Act, which means that the Irish language should be taught in all schools.
Is it Gaelic? Is it
Gaelic? Yeah.
Do you speak it?
I can I did it at school. I don't. It's a very incredibly difficult language to learn.
So you grew up English, really? Just like what we grew up.
But in my family there are fluent Irish speakers, so I have grown up around it. I've been lucky enough. So I just can't. For me personally, can't get my head around it.
No, I get it. My mom, went to French high school. She was in Canada,
right? Okay,
and French Canadian. So she went to high school, old grammar school, all through, even nursing in college.
Okay.
In Canada. And, that's a tough language, too. Ah, oui. Yeah. All I know is oui is yes. No. Parlez-vous français? Getting back to our subject. Do you have a boyfriend, lover?
I have a partner, yeah.
A partner?
Yeah.
And is he, are you married? Because we're going to a wedding. That's how I met you. We're going to a good friend of mine's daughter's wedding. And she's a pisser, and she got a good husband I got drunk with one night. I do remember that. And so we had fun there. We made John pay. That's the best part of it. No, I'm joking with him. Are you getting married already?
We've talked about it. There are plans in place, and hopefully, but I'm very much not that I don't believe in marriage.
Like me. It costs me too much money.
To me, it's more of I am committed to him and he is committed to me, and that's all that I need for now. Like, we have our securities, we have our plans in place for what we need, and
You live together?
Yeah.
I'm not, if I get too personal, just say
you can ask me anything. I'm an open book. You can ask me anything. And it takes a lot to offend
watch
me
out.
as well. So.
This can get crazy. No. Let's go back to you. I'm even ask a couple of questions. It'll be off topic, not off topic. Do you know anything about the prison system in Ireland?
Bits and pieces.
The reason I say is the United States is known as one of the worst countries in the world with the prison system. We have the most people incarcerated. We have the worst prison. We have the most prisoners, not even by capita, per numbers, actually. And that's really scary when you have 1.4 billion Chinese and 1.4 billion Indians, and we have more people incarcerated. I mean, that's the United States. I study prisons because I testified in Congress once, and I do a lot of that on my channel. And I was going to go to the prison system in the gay community or whatever, and how people literally turn into a woman in prison. And I don't mean little it. I mean, I watched guys take their lips and tattoo them red.
Okay.
Tattoo their eyebrows. Tattoo blush over here.
Okay.
And literally become a woman. Okay. I mean, I went to a wedding with two guys in prison. I had a lot of fun too, man. I gave them 10 books of stamps, but that's a pretty good gift though. And it's so it's kind of like. And
did you speak to them about why or how that happened in prison? Or
oh yeah, they didn't get married. I mean, it was us. I mean, it was a bunch of friends, and we all went to the end of the unit where we were, and some.
But why they transitioned in prison? Like, had they?
No, I never asked. I used to have a cell cleaner. Like, I hate to say maid. I had I know that it sounds so bad. Goldie. It was the ugliest black guy you ever met, and used to wear the shirt like this. We'd go like that, come prancing in, and put the bond, like a Aunt Jemima bandana on her head. And she'd come in with the red lips, and But damn, was she a good worker. People called her she. But then we had one who was we called the Black Widow, killed 2 of her cellies.
Okay.
So she would, and she was hot as, I mean, I remember going into the prison and looking, and I seen the person on the yard, and I saw from behind, and I said, what the fuck? That's a woman. I mean, the hips, the ass. It was in shorts, the legs, the hair. Then turned around and had the 5 o'clock shadow that just, but hot as fuck, Hey, look at me.
Just over here stumbling over your words.
Yeah, I'm kind of like getting hard over here. No. But my point is and he was a killer. How is it in Ireland?
I have different experiences of it. From what I know, from what I've been exposed to myself, it's not as...
You in prison?
No, I wasn't.
Oh, man, I really love this guy.
No.
I'm glad. I'm happy.
From what I've been told and from the stories that I've heard and stuff like that, it is very much a... Guys get comfort in there, so they do. But it's not a way of life. They don't transition. They don't. It's just a pure comfort thing.
Well, I mean, I think it is the United States, but these guys had life sentences. I was in prison with people with life.
Well, that's what I was also going to say. Like, what were they in for? Like, they were in for life.
Yeah.
So they were.
Yeah. What do you say?
And it'd be
somebody?
interesting to talk to them to see whether or not they had those feelings before they went into prison. Like, did they identify? Like, what were they thinking?
Well, like I said, we used to sit around and it's kind of like, you look around and say, this person's never going to have sex again in their life or whatever. And everybody has urges, everybody whatever. And now you're talking about a place that's the most dreary, you want friends, you want connections to survive. And I don't mean just like mentally, to talk to somebody, to do things. And you end up becoming very close friends with people. To this day, I'm close to friends with guys. And not one of us cares less about sexuality of a person. Not one of them. And I know conservative ones. And they'll joke, whatever language they'll use to joke, but they can care less. If you're a good person, you're a good person.
Absolutely.
And I think that's the way it should be.
Absolutely.
And I try to ask Nick as a young guy. I'm 62. So I'm an old man. He's 26. So when I had the Libertarian presidential candidate sitting in that chair 3 weeks ago, he came to the office and he's a presidential candidate for the Libertarian Party.
Okay.
His name's Mike Terramat. And I said, hey, I'm a Libertarian. I get it. And that's how they knew. I said, turn to him and convince him to vote for you. And when he left, Nick said, nothing. He was nothing. He did not have, sad as this is, Nick says, he didn't even curse out or didn't even talk about one other candidate and he's an idiot. And when we all know certain people are idiots. I mean, so if you have a candidate, and I think young people, more than even me, but me, because I kind of consider myself, I have a very, very young audience. Your age, and actually 18 to 45 is 85% of my audience.
Okay. And
it's 92% male.
Okay.
So when I look at that and I say, guys like you, him, they don't want bullshit. And that's in this show. I'll say anything because I know my heart. I think when these politicians won't say anything, say, listen, that guy's a fucking moron. What the fuck? He does not belong to be president. Whatnot. His wife's an idiot. I can get into it. When you guys watch Shane Gillis, you guys will laugh. I've been talking about him on some podcasts. He is a funny Irish guy. He's a funny. But anyway, getting back into your life. So, again, do you feel any kind of differences coming here? Do you feel threatened in any way, or is it because you know people who are cool people?
Yeah, no, I would say that I've been very lucky. So I have my experiences. I always come any summer that I was here. I came here for about 6 or 7 summers.
Oh, here?
Yeah. Oh, sorry, Missouri. So
wow.
Yeah.
And that's a very conservative, fucked up state. I mean, really is. I hate to say that. I mean, it's very conservative, very anti-gay, very anti. stuff, and you never felt it. I mean,
No, I was very lucky in that the people that we worked with, the majority of them, 99% of them, I would say.
Two people I can think of that made comments to you over the years.
And how did they know? I mean, that's a good
To
question.
me?
Yeah.
Hey.
I'm not going to name them.
Should I know? Do I?
Well, Rambo was one of them.
Okay.
But he was
Uh,
nice about it.
He was
We
nice
can't
about it.
name, so that's...
He was
Gotcha.
nice about it.
Well, I mean, questioning and asking questions, I don't think is wrong,
He
right?
was against it when he was talking to
Just against gay people.
him. Yeah.
Oh,
Well, that was more trans, that issue, because that was around the time that Caitlyn Jenner was on the scene, had transitioned.
that one is tough for me, and I'll tell you why. I remember Bruce Jenner when he was the greatest athlete in the world. He literally won the decathlon in 1976. The decathlon means you're the best athlete in the world. And then, now I get it. I really actually, a part of me felt bad for him, because if he felt that way his whole life, look at the struggle of feeling that way. But becoming that kind of an athlete, I mean, it just boggles the mind when you think about that. But
It only boggles your mind because you associate that there with, manly, very masculine sort of, he won the decathlon, so he couldn't possibly have those. It just goes to show that it doesn't matter whether you're the strongest man. Do you know?
well, it matters, because here's another question for you. Do you believe a transgender person should be able to play sports in the gender that they're not in? And say it like it is, Owen, because I'm going to come back at you with some arguments. And I'm sure you, as your friends, I'm sure she's itching. I know her so well.
You got this, Shane.
You got this. Tell me.
For me personally, I don't think that it's because it's all very brand new at the minute, and it's all very fresh, and it's all very current. I don't think that it has been not researched enough, but there isn't.
Come on, you're ducking that one. That's a bullshit. That's a political answer. Are you a politician now? That's a we don't have enough data to answer that correctly.
Do I think that they should be allowed to compete?
Yes. I'll tell you why. My transgender friend is a skateboarder.
Okay.
Young person, Nick's age. Even younger. Your age, right? Yeah. And she says, no, she cannot compete with the men. Cannot get as high. With jumps, cannot go as fast. Genetically, science, a man is stronger than a female. Now, I'm not saying there aren't women that can kick my ass as strong as me.
You can make the argument against skateboarding. Like, you can totally have mutual men and women skateboarding competitions. I think that's totally okay.
Disagree.
Skateboarding is...
There's why I was saying that it's so
like-
vague in the minute, because there are so many different categories and so
now
many
do
different
I want
sports.
someone like a born female hopping into a ring with Mike Tyson? I don't think that should be a thing.
Or
If they're in this-
baseball, or
if they're in the
tennis,
same-
or basketball. Why hasn't a female golfer called Michelle Wee?
I think golf
tried-
should be okay.
I'm saying it's a sport that it's more of a finesse sport. But then again, strength plays a part in every sport. Maybe not chess, if they're considering chess a sport.
No, I'm
now.
saying like you can have a women's, a men's, and then a mutual.
So then you don't believe in letting a transgender person go into a sport with men. You think if I'm a man right now, Larry says I'm a female, and I want to go into the over 60 female, I don't know, boxing match, would that be fair?
No, I'm saying but
Probably get my
there's
ass kicked.
mutual.
What I'm getting at in sports, and I've debated this with people as a pro transgender, I don't, just like bathrooms. It's, listen, I've went into women's bathrooms, and I'm sure women went into men's bathrooms. But if you're going in there, if you want to be a woman and you still have a penis, just like prisons, but we're going to go into the bathroom situation. You have a penis. That gives a person an excuse to say, I identify as a woman, and I'm going into the female bathroom. What to do what? To sit down and piss? Well, you go to the toilet in a man's room. You have a penis. Because you could now be threatening to another person in there. You can make that as an excuse. You could prisons. You don't think a female would want to go to a male prison or a male? I want to say I'm a girl and go to a woman's prison.
Yeah, but what do you think's happening in that bathroom?
I didn't say in every situation, but it gives the person an excuse. Listen, if I go right now to...
No. If they go in there and commit some sort of crime, the crime is still committed, whether they identify as a man or a woman.
Do you... Okay, maybe I should ask a woman. Do you... Maybe you're gay. Do you want a woman to watch you pee in and use the bathroom?
Wouldn't be the first time.
I didn't say that. Do you want that?
It doesn't bother me either way.
You're not peeing with the door open.
Yeah, like, what do you think's happening in that bathroom, in the stall that you're in with the closed door? What do you think's happening in there? No matter what, if the crime is committed in a bathroom in a closed stall, the crime has still happened, whether that person is identified as a man or a woman.
Okay, let me put it this way: if I have a son, and I send him, or I have a daughter, and I send her into the female bathroom, I'm not going in with her. She's maybe 6 years old, 7 years old. Do you think I want to see you in there? Maybe you're a pedophile, maybe you're not. But a guy in there, but maybe again, he's jacking off.
But then again, hold on.
I know, but then people will question it right away. Right now, if a,
but you're
I'm telling you, if I was a female, what?
You're stereotyping there, because what's to say that the woman isn't masturbating?
Again, I don't want to see women in men's bathroom.
No, but you send a girl into a woman's bathroom and a woman goes in, you think that that's okay, but that woman could be a predator. That woman could be a pedophile.
Yeah, but they're on. Listen, that's on each other. That's a woman and a man, right?
I don't get what you mean by that.
If I have a 6-year-old daughter,
you're okay with a woman going into the bathroom?
No, 6-year-old, yes. No, I'm not saying I'm okay with any. No, I'm not okay with any abuse.
No,
but how about the guy just standing in a corner jacking off?
But give me an example where that has happened. Give me an example.
I can't, because I don't know.
No, you can't, because that hasn't happened.
You don't know that either.
No, but you don't know that either, and you're the one that's making that argument, so you have to prove with your examples that has happened.
So you agree with anybody using any bathroom they want?
Absolutely.
So you think so we should really change the system and put no men's, no women's on any bathrooms and let them be? Are you okay with that?
What do you think's happening in that bathroom?
I didn't ask you that. I said, I don't know what. Do you want to shit with women around? Or does a woman want to shit and piss and cry about her bloody period with men around?
But you're talking like it's an open bathroom where, we're all sitting in holes in the ground and this is happening. Everyone's in an individual a stall with the door closed. What's the issue there? It's not like, a guy has to force his way into the door.
I don't think a female wants to be shitting and farting and knowing the guys are coming in a room.
Michelle?
Would
that bother you?
No, it's a bath. If I'm going to shit and fart so loudly that's going to affect other people, I probably wouldn't be in a public bathroom.
If I'm going to do a bathroom where a woman is shitting and farting, I'm more than likely to leave because it stinks.
Yeah.
Not because I'm
good one.
Not because I'm uncomfortable. Like that, there's just...
You're giving it on Nick. Where do you stand, Nick?
I don't really care. I think if you're a transgender female and you look exactly like a female and you go into the female's bathroom,
nobody's going to know anyway. Yeah,
I don't agree with your argument that all the transgenders are in the corner just jerking off.
I did not say that either. You guys, I'm making the argument It's not an argument. I'm making the discussion saying I'm more apt to start believing what you're saying there. Let's make no bathroom. Hey, make any bathroom bad. Listen, I'll pee anywhere. I don't give a shit. And I pee in front of people. I've been in the military where you pee in a trough, whatever. So, and you take showers with everybody else. So I have no issues with any of that. I do have, and I've been in prisons where you have shitters lined up, and there's not even a divider or anything. So, but I'm more apt to believe in, okay, since we should make no more urinals, urinals for men. We should just make everything toilets in all stalls.
Yes.
And make all bathrooms unisex.
Yes.
Nick? You good with that? I want you guys out there who are listening
I feel
to this.
That's going to cost a lot of money.
There's going to get a lot of comments and a lot of feedback saying why. I really don't.
And again,
you make a very good argument. No, you make a good argument. I don't think you made an argument and you ducked the question on sports.
Well, I was actually about to circle back around to that whenever you were talking about.
Oh, good, because I want you to come out. Because I know Michelle's going to tell you later. You have the answer to that. I heard her say that.
No, I would argue then that there should be. It's going to get to the stage now where there's going to have to be gender neutral sports categories. Yeah. Like we're getting to the stage in the Oscars, the Tony Awards, where it's no longer defined by male and female. It's just going to be best performer. It's going to be this, that, and the other.
No, and I'm pushing back because of. Listen, again, all my arguments are always the science. Genetically, a man is bred. I mean, they bred African men to be slaves. They literally did that, which is so crazy. But you look at some of the guys, and you could tell, you could say what you want. It was known, it is done. Men are stronger than women. Period. I mean, not again.
Yeah,
comparing apples to apples. I'm not talking. There's not female bodybuilders that can kick my ass. But go ahead and speak.
I think there are some sports it doesn't matter. Like golf, if a woman is good enough to compete with the men, if she's shooting her balls as far as the men, gender shouldn't matter. Now they're not going to put me playing golf against them.
Michelle, bad.
Well, that's okay. But then when you have a guy go into the women's tournament, it's not that fair.
Then what are you going to do?
Then again, you're just whoever wants to compete. As long as
well, then that's what I'm saying. Is
you can't say that because then I just want to compete, so I'm going to the female golf.
But women's sports has already got so much we need to reform with it.
Oh no! Don't make that. You're making it. Michelle, you're making an argument of it's good for women.
$20, all right, go win.
Nah, Michelle, you're making an argument that it's okay for women to do what they want, go to the man's sport, but it's not okay for a man to go to the woman's sport.
No, I'm not saying that.
You just said that. If she could compete and go.
Who wants to go to the women's sports because they don't get paid? You have to reform all of that.
Well, but they get awards.
But listen, there are people, who go for trophies. Besides trophies, they do get paid something. Put it this way. The 100th best golfer in the world, and I'm a golfer, you know that, could go on the LPGA Tour and be the number one and make a lot more money on the LPGA Tour than on the men's tour. Just because they had the best golfer in the world as a woman at the time. She hit the ball 300 yards, as longer than some men. And she went to the men's tour. Couldn't even, it was gone. It was done. She could never win, could never do anything because strength, endurance, they longer courses. They have to walk more and then hit longer shots. And believe me, muscle memory, a lot of it. So genetically, she could not compete.
I grew up playing co-ed soccer all through high school.
But you cannot. I get they can have a co-ed league, but you think a female can keep up with the men on a soccer field?
No, you have the co-ed where it doesn't matter. You've got the men's league, the women's
So
league.
you don't believe that that a man should be allowed to go to a women's sport?
No.
That's good.
Is that the only prerequisite for if I were to identify as a woman, is that enough for me to compete in a woman's sport?
Well, let me tell you where it came. They had that one guy who was a swimmer, and he identified as a female, and he was acting as a female, but he went to the women's swim meets and blew everybody out. And people said, this is not, even the second place run-up says, I can't compete with that. I mean, you could see the muscle mass, you could see the total genetic build of that man competing with the female. I don't believe that's right. Listen, I respect females. And listen, I'm always going to emphasize, believe me, I'm talking about apples to apples. I'm not talking Larry's fat ass against some 25-year-old fucking great athlete woman. I'm going to get killed. But if you take myself with the comparable female, I'm stronger, I'm faster, not smarter maybe. That's debatable because most, and that really is debatable. I know I'm going to piss women off right now. But if you look at all inventions, you look at who made all the great inventions in the world.
Well,
show me the females who made it.
Women were not
Name
allowed to make any inventions back when fucking the plane was around. They weren't allowed to make the inventions, dude. What?
Okay, since the door has been open for 20, 50 years, 100 years. Hold on, 100 years. The door has been changed.
The first person to go to Mars is going to be a woman. She can't get married. She's not going to have any kids. She's the first person that's gonna step foot on Mars.
Where do you get that from?
I'll look it up. She's like fucking 18 now.
I just want to show in the last 100 years, females have been voting since the 20s.
Katherine
Tell-
Johnson. She sent all the men to space. She worked for NASA, did all the
Great.
calculations.
Show me one woman who invented anything. Anything.
We weren't allowed to go to space.
Oh, don't come on with that loud shit. You're 100 years you've been free.
You're okay.
You get her going. Look, she's getting. I love her.
Walking
I get her going. Hey, Owen, I know how to take her off. No, it's true. Men, listen. Maybe maybe that's why you like men.
What?
They're smarter than women.
Where is this going?
Oh, I'm gonna get
You're
her.
not answering that.
You're not answering that. I'm getting to the fact that
Women invented Kevlar vests.
who
That's cool.
a woman. You better be right because once I get in my
Hey, and guess who it saved? All the men. It saved all the men, all the cops.
who did it?
The
She didn't
life
have to
raft-
do that.
The life raft was invented by a woman. The fold-out bed invented by a woman, so you could sleep on it when you're not in the bed with your
And that's all the time.
Of course, this one is, of course, the dishwasher.
Oh, sure. It'd be lazy. I don't use dishwasher. I don't believe in them.
Sorry, there's more, but I won't.
So what is your
So
solution then?
okay, wait for the transgender, because I do
Well,
talk
here's
about
the
this
thing.
a lot. I don't.
None of
I don't
us
believe-
here are trans. So
That's what I.
none of us.
Well,
can-
I was gonna have somebody come on, but Nick said no because it would have went haywire and right. Oh, he's getting mad at me. I love that. So you don't
need
believe?
to go into why.
I mean, Michelle don't believe it.
Should we go
What is
into
your
why?
solution? Because
There is no solution. Don't go into sports. You want to be transgender? Be transgender. Do whatever you want. Get your dick cut off. Have fun, please do it. I'll fuck you. I don't mind a rubber pussy at all or whatever. Have no problem. If what I'm talking about with Michelle saying, oh, but no, none of you here believe. I think you know it down deep, but you want to make the argument to be more open about it. No male should ever play in a female sport on an equal level to a female.
I agree.
I mean, you have something I don't have. You're a great mother. You females are the really. Listen, and I mean this. I heard.
I was like, a lot of women aren't great mothers.
No, we know that. Of course, I'm talking about. Listen, women are built different, and I don't mean just physically. I mean to take care of a kid, to even childbirth. To there's so many positives I have that I think women are needed. That women are needed to keep a household strong. Am I wrong? I am an old school guy. No, and I think women are smart.
No.
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 Oh, that. You know what that is? Wrong.
Wrong.
Donald Trump. Wrong. Why? Why no?
Well, you were just wrong. You just said women have not invented anything.
Listen, name me. She got to go to Google.
Okay.
Light bulb, this, cars,
Oh, my
planes.
education system for that, man.
Oh,
I was teaching about these women.
I didn't say. Listen, I didn't say women weren't behind the eight ball. I think a long time has come.
So do you think then that if there was a gender neutral sports, would you be okay with that?
Sure, but who wants to go into that? Who would watch that?
Well, we don't know because it's not a thing at the moment.
So where you gonna put the money?
But if that were to come to it, and then there was
Listen, I could care less. She goes to play soccer with men in high school. They have gender neutral sports in the United States. But there's never going to be anywhere that pays anybody. No man wants to. You want to watch the best at something, whether a female, the best female in the world, or the best man in the world. Why do you think the Olympics aren't commingled? Because when you pick an athlete from around the world, you want to see who's the best athlete in that world. You can't. A woman would never, ever, ever win anything physically in a sport around the world.
Yeah.
Never. So why would any women even try then again to do or to be the best? Now to be the best female, I get it. Being the best male is two different categories. I don't know why transgender. I believe in transgenders transitioning. I feel bad for people who are in the if they really are in the body and they feel that way. 100%. I can't even imagine it. I believe, like I told you, all my beliefs, but I don't believe that we should be having a man integrated to a female sport. It's not fair for the females.
I would agree with that.
And then
I would absolutely agree with that. But it is going to get to a stage where gender neutral is going to become more of a thing across different areas. Like, it's not going to be just the same way, you know, it started off as, you know, LGBT. And now we've obviously expanded the community out to
LGBTQT, whatever, right?
Yes.
That's all. How about, isn't a queer a queer or this? Isn't it all the same?
But,
honestly, I mean, that's not even being derogatory. Because I don't like being derogatory.
But I can't answer that, and neither can you, because first of all, I only identify as a gay man. I have never experienced those different feelings of, oh, maybe I'm a queer person, maybe I'm a transgender person, maybe in this.
Okay, wait.
Just the same way you've always.
Let me ask you a question. What's the difference between a queer and a gay?
You would have to ask a queer person that. Because I don't identify as a queer person, I identify as a gay
Nick,
person.
on the
What
computer,
makes you-
can you?
makes you? So what makes you not identify as a queer person?
Can you look it up?
Because I'm not
Michelle,
a queer
can you
person,
look it up
I
for
can't
me?
answer that question either. To an extent, you know, I don't have that belief that I'm a queer person, so I'm not a qualified person to answer that question.
If I had my phone, I'd look it up. What's the definition of a queer? We're gonna look it up. Michelle's looking it up right now, and
Because I always thought queer was a bad word.
Queer, it used to be a derogatory term. For
Is
a gay
it?
person.
Did it? I like, you know. Obviously, you can start again. The political correctness to me is just where's the person's heart.
Here's the definition of queer.
Okay, can I read that, please? Okay, the definition of queer is a multifaceted word that is used in different ways and means different things to different people. Boy, that's vague enough. Attraction to people of many genders. That's me. You know, animals. Don't conform to cultural norms around gender and or
Larry's going
sexuality.
to come out of this podcast as a queer.
A general term referring to all non-heterosexual people, some within the community. I don't believe anyone's totally heterosexual. People, some within the community, however, may feel the word has been hatefully used against them for too long and are reluctant to embrace it. What now? It almost pisses me off that the gay community or whoever sets the acronym, you know, I believe in this. The what is it? LB, lesbian,
LGBT.
bi, LBG, right?
LGBT.
T, gay, trans. That's it. There ain't no more. What's this one in plus? Queer doesn't go in there. Wow, who added queer?
Queer falls under your plus.
So then why is it
No,
Q
it's
plus?
it's LGBTQ. For those of you who don't identify as queer, but I identify as other.
Again, under the definition, at least what we're reading, that shouldn't even be in there. I think that takes away from the actual meaning of the four that are.
No.
I know
That's
you're
a-
trying to be different.
No, but that's no.
What is a queer? You don't even know when you say it.
No, I'm saying that I identify as a gay person, so I'm not going to speak for a queer person. That's not my place to speak, and it's not your
So I
place to
guess
speak
the
for it either.
definition said
You might not understand it. You might not agree with it. You might not be able to comprehend it. But that's not your place to.
Well, okay, then I don't have to like when I say LBGT, I should be good. Why should I have to say the word queer when I don't even know the definition of it? And
Because
nobody,
it's not-
and no
because-
general person in
because-
this room knows it.
Because to a certain extent, it's not up to you. That's what they identify as. They're asking you to just respect that. They're not asking you to go along with it, to support it, to enforce it onto others. It comes down to also a basic level of respect as well. That's what they identify as. That's what they're asking to respect you as. You don't have to promote it. You don't have to engage in it. You don't have to be okay with it. It's basic respect.
Okay, when we put in that next, let's say the algorithm, or what do they call them?
The acronym.
Acronym. We take that acronym and then we put plus in there. Nobody knows what. Why don't we just put A in there for animals? Would you then say that one?
But I don't.
Okay, took whatever. I don't know. What do people dress up like animals? Or that's something. Believe me.
furries.
Furries. Or what is it? Dogs. Listen, I have a gay friend. He goes, you got to come to this puppy event. I go, what's a puppy event?
Oh, puppy play.
Something like that. Puppy. He goes, that's where guys dress up as a dog.
That's a.
I says, hold on. Hold on.
Larry was there with the puppy mask on. He just didn't want to tell me. He just didn't want to tell me.
I do like the mask. He showed me a picture of that mask. That's a pretty cool mask. But if they put that in there, do I say that? I think it's gotten to that point. Again, there's my pushback. I believe in if a person is gay, I believe in a person is lesbian, I believe a person is bisexual, I believe a person is a transgender, because I've seen enough and met people and talked. I've never met, maybe in all my life, and I've been around, a queer, because nobody's ever, you can't tell me what a queer is. None of us in this room can, and we're pretty liberal people in this room.
Just because you haven't met a queer person doesn't mean that they don't
so
exist.
So wait, come on, Owen. So am I supposed to, just because I haven't met a guy that's puppy play, well, I met somebody who went to one, or puppy play, but, I'm not.
It also goes back to what you were saying at the start of the podcast. If that
yes,
person,
let you be what you want.
Well, then why are you getting so butthurt about it?
I'm not.
You're getting pretty butthurt.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, you are.
I might be, but here's why. Here's why. Because when I said one time on a show, someone said, I did say something, LBGT. Or some LBGT, I think that's what I said. The LBGT community. And the guy goes, what about the Q and the plus? And I kind of looked and I said, yeah, whatever you want, good is good. But then I thought about it. I said, wait the fuck a minute. I don't even know what the Q and plus means.
Just because you don't know it doesn't mean...
Oh, yes, it does,
No,
Owen. I'm not saying something I don't know. Maybe it means Q's fuck with kids.
Oh, Jesus. Are we back onto this again?
No.
So then you're getting into that umbrella term that, queers are pedophiles and gay...
No, I'm not.
No, you are.
Oh,
because there was a stage whenever, gay men were considered to be predatory pedophiles.
And, the numbers prove that they are less.
Yes.
No, numbers prove that... Listen, I'm a swinger. You know what swingers are?
Yes.
There's numbers that prove that people who are married or couples who are swingers have less divorce rate and have happier marriages than people who are not.
I don't understand how we got on to swinging from that.
Yeah,
I'm just going about titles because you said pedophile. I don't believe in any people who come out and say, blacks commit more crime. Well, maybe in certain neighborhoods they do, but whites in certain neighborhoods, maybe in Ireland, no. Maybe, I don't know. What I'm getting at is when I don't know a acronym, I'm not going to say something. Because how do I know I'm not saying, let's add some more numbers in there.
That's up
and you can't explain it, Owen.
Maybe that's up to you to educate yourself more on that then.
I just tried. Anybody in this room, I'll tell you, we're going to a wedding. I want somebody at that wedding to say they're queer and say, I'm a queer and this is what it means. If they can give me a logical explanation, I will suck their dick.
What is a logical explanation?
No, I won't do that. I only joking.
What is a logical explanation for that to you?
Look at he's laughing.
I think I might have one. This is how I interpreted the definition of queer.
I'm kidding.
You are
maybe
gay,
it depends on what he looks like.
Which means you only like men.
Yes.
Bisexuals are bi because they like
men
and women. They might not like trans people, and maybe
queers.
I think queers don't matter if you're trans, asexual, bisexual, gay, straight. Is that what that means?
If that's what it means, maybe I am queer. I could care less about any of that.
That's
where I'm at. I'm not anything. I've been around the block a lot in swingers clubs. I remember I was on a major show, and it was a sex calling show, and I was one of the panelists. And Michelle, who Rude Jude is from Sirius XM 45, your mom. He's a friend of mine. It's a big show. It's called Shade 45, the M&M channel on Sirius Radio and all that. You don't know.
No.
Well, I was on his show and we were talking about swingers and threesomes and stuff. And, have you been in threesomes? Yes. 2 men and a girl? Yes. 2 girls and a man? Yes. All of this. Well, have you ever put your penis in a woman and he put his penis in a woman at the same time? I said, yes. So the guy goes, oh my God, your penis hit his penis, so you're gay. I said, no, I don't think that has anything to fucking do with it.
What do you identify as?
Me, anything. I don't identify.
Right, okay.
Meaning, no, I really don't. I mean, I guess no, I don't. How's that? I don't identify.
That's fair. That's how you...
No, what I meant is listen, I've been around and watched enough shit that I could look at, you look at a porn movie or anything and you say, wow, that guy, I'd fuck that guy too. Or I know some other guys, I know friends here to say, Larry, you fucking crazy. But they know me. Every one of them know me that, yes, that's exactly what Larry's like. And so I don't believe in that identifying of because I think women, I don't care who you are, if you're a woman, you can say, wait, that woman is hot. They want to be with that woman. Or that, I'm not saying all, that's why I said most people I do believe are bisexual in one way or the other. Or think it, mind-wise. Again, you don't have to act on everything you like.
No.
You know that. So I'm just at that point where all the acronyms are becoming too much for people. Just like political correctness. I can't say a joke. I'm trying to think of jokes. I mean,
go right ahead. We're already demonetized. So go ahead and just say
we
whatever
get
you want to
paid.
say.
It's all right. I love it. What jokes?
I don't know what you're gonna say. That's it. We're already demonetized, dude.
Well, no, we're not.
Yes, we are. Trust me.
Okay. So who cares? This is a good show. I think people
Once
want to.
that F word slipped, it too.
I think a lot of people are just like me. Honestly. And I mean that not as crazy maybe as me, but open to whatever. I mean, really. And when it comes down to it, you get them in a room and you talk sex, you drink and have a shot and you talk bullshit. And I'll bet as a gay man, you see it too.
Of course.
So at that point, you got to say to yourself, all right, even the gay community, I think the gay community hurts itself by putting up these standards or, I identify as is great. If you're with me and you're my friend and we've been friends, you want to be called her or Shirley. I don't give a fuck. Hi, Shirley. Matter of fact, I have a lesbian friend. Not lesbian. What is she? Transgender. Alice. There's no other name. I don't even know Alice's real name. Do you?
No, I don't know. No.
I don't.
I think it's
and
Alice,
I'll show you a
right?
picture of Alice. It's a fun person to be around. I'm really a fun person. Very opinionated. 26 and opinionated at the ass. And I love that. And she loves me for being who I am by telling it like it is. And saying, she goes, I know you didn't mean anything by trans, but Nick said to me, Larry, you can't use the word trans. I go, okay, because I won't offend anybody on purpose. I won't do that. I'm not that kind of person. But you could say anything to me, I could give a fuck because I don't get offended by that. Now, if you're trying to affect my life or telling me I shouldn't do or trying to prevent me from doing something, first of all, if I let you prevent me, then I'm the idiot to begin with. Stick up for yourself in its own way. Obviously, if I, listen, my buddy John and Laura, and you know them, we go to this Twisted Rooster. It's a gay place up here. And we went to piano night, and we went to, and I'll go in there. And it's fun as fuck, man. Gay places are the best place to go. Man, anybody tell you that they're the best fucking parties in the world, man. They don't give a fuck. I went on Virgin Voyages, which you showed to John and Laura. The first time I went on there, I was on a New Year's cruise, and these guys had like hot pants, like straight jeans, hot pants, and high heels. And they were, and all the guys there, we were all looking at him and dancing with him and messing with him. It was fun as fuck.
Good.
But so I think people our age who are like us, I think, because we really don't care what people do. But I just want to get to the facts of there's things that I care that are affecting people, which is sports. The bathroom issue, I still have my issues with, and I like you guys both came, you all came with a good answer to me. Have nothing. Just don't put up men or women. Let anybody go in any bathroom they want. How does Ireland do it? Do they have men and female?
Yeah. It's male and female.
And can a man go into a female's bathroom?
I think I don't know about that one either.
Are on that.
You should know. It's your country.
I should know, but I don't.
Okay.
So I don't. But then again, we are at the stage now where the political correctness is taking over. So there are far more important things that need to be addressed than whether 100%. Or not a trans person can go into this bathroom or that bathroom. But because it's the current sort of hot topic, well, not so much current anymore. It's been around for a while, but they're trying like address your issues with healthcare, address your issues with education. Like in our country, we haven't had an assembly for years now because neither party can come to an agreement, and as a result of that, the healthcare suffering, the education suffering, roadworks, public things they endorse, whatever. It's all gone to pot. So it has, but then again, they're fighting on the Irish Language Act. So they are, they shouldn't teach Irish language in school. They should teach Irish language in school. The border and the sea and all that is a load of shite. So it is, get back to your education, get back to your healthcare. The healthcare system in our country is an absolute shambles, and it's overrun. But they're focusing on the wrong things, and it's like this here sort of thing as well. Like we've talked for ages on, the bathroom issue and the LGBTQ plus community, which of course is very near and dear to my heart and is important. But that's not as important as say education and healthcare. They should be going back to that. And this year, things taken over.
Well, that's a good question. So, do you think, is it the gay community that keeps putting these acronyms in and hurting themselves? And I don't know who does it in the gay community. I don't know, is there a board or is there a board of governors that puts it together? Think about that, Nick.
I think it's Twitter.
It's Twitter.
No, it's not. But then, it depends on where you come from as well. And it also goes down to a debate of nature versus nurture. I think in how you're raised and who raised you says a lot about your beliefs and the way that you've turned out. And we're at the stage now where it doesn't matter how many letters are added onto the acronym. That's not what the important issue is. So it is. It should be going back to your education and your healthcare. They should be the top two issues.
I'm all for that. So but when we're talking about gay rights or gay community today, and you made a great point. By saying what you said, you changed my mind by saying, who puts up the number? Who determines it's LGBTQ? Who is there? Is there a gay? I don't know. Is there?
Is it GLAAD?
No. Is there a gay organization that speaks for all gays?
GLAAD.
GLAAD. What is the GLAAD? What's the acronym for GLAAD?
The Gay and Lesbian Alliance and.
Oh, there is one thing.
Yeah.
You thought I was joking. No, I heard. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
And if they are, I think they're wrong by keep adding and adding, because maybe they want members. Maybe it's a money thing, because most things are about money. So you get.
What does
Nick,
adding a letter have to do with
a lot? Because if I'm a whole
taxes,
I'll tell you why. Because if I and my friends all identify as queer, nobody really knows the definition, but we identify queer. Well, we go to that organization.
I don't think they're going to keep adding. I think the plus is there for a reason. I think it's there for a reason.
That is why the plus is there.
Yeah, because it's not.
I think they're done with adding the letters.
Well, then they should come up with what I can go up and look up what a gay person is, a lesbian is, what a bi is, a transgender.
The plus is for. There's not P in there. There's not.
That's what I am. Remember, we looked up pansexual, which means you don't give a fuck. You fuck anybody. I think that's what it means. Isn't it, Nick?
I don't know.
We looked it up.
Not in a literal sense, but
look. What does it say?
A person who experiences sexual, romantic, physical, and/or spiritual attraction for all members of all gender identities and expressions.
I'm pansexual. I don't give a fuck what they are. If they hit me at the right time, I'm in. Now I said it. Now, how is that a plus?
That's just plus. That's just because they don't want to cram. They don't want you. That's what you're getting mad about. I think you're getting mad about like not wanting to say extra letters. Just say plus.
Again,
I don't think anyone's going to get mad if you say LGBT.
See, when I really remember is there's LGBT.
And then just
that's
say
all I remember.
Larry,
when I grew up, or when I was younger in the military.
Larry, and then just say plus, and I don't think anyone's going to get mad.
A lot of people still from where I'm from.
LGBT plus.
LGBT plus.
And
I like that.
Yeah,
that's what we're going to say on this show from now on. The Q is out. And if there's a queer person out there...
You can't remember just the one, actually.
If the queer is out there that wants to come on this show and tell me that and identify, and I am going to ask any queer, because there might be different, and then I'm going to question them. But I'd love that. It's going to be LGBTQ... see, I fucked up.
There we go. You're not fucked
me up.
Just
LGBT plus. I like that.
LGBT plus.
I'm in on that. And that's what Ireland does? Fucking, I got to go to Ireland. He said, yes, I love it. Do you think there's more? There's another question. That is something. You know, people ask me, well, they shouldn't let, just like the military in the United States. It took a long time for them to let, when I went in the military, I was in the military at 17 years old. If you were gay or whatever, or even act, or did anything, you were kicked out under a dishonorable discharge. And obviously, anybody who's in there didn't give a shit unless they were just macho bullshit. Because if you're willing to pick up a rifle to help me and defend me or whatever it is, I don't give a fuck what you are.
Absolutely.
And I'm a big believer in that today. And then you'd hear the old time, well, do you want to be in the foxhole? Absolutely. Before I die, if I can get a blowjob, I'm in. You damn fucking right. So David's saying, wow, Larry's not right. I know that. But I'm at that level. I don't think I'm old, but maybe I am in some ways.
I think you're pretty old, yeah. I mean,
Michelle, stick up for me.
you just said that women didn't invent.
I believe in Tate.
You also said women aren't as smart as men. Why does my opinion matter over?
Oh, I'm teasing you. I think Andrew Tate, and I argue with Laura Bomolowski.
I don't think you're a big
viciously
Tate fan
about
anymore.
this.
I don't think you're a big Tate fan anymore.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh no, not after all the bullshit. No, but I don't like Tate, but he hasn't done anything illegal.
Okay. Sure, John. Good one.
Oh, you think he did? What did he do illegal?
I'm not getting into that because we're not going to agree on that. But there's something there.
Oh, don't do that. I'm a
come on.
lawyer.
No,
I got a law. I'll debate the law. Wait till you just show me the illegal. Don't ever say that. I think he's right because Larry Lawton, looks like a criminal. Was a
I
criminal.
didn't say think. There's something there. You know there is as well. You know there is.
I think we're going to end it on that note.
That's right.
Owen, I want to thank.
Human trafficking, forming a criminal gang to sexual.
Wait. Has he been convicted of that?
He was arrested for it.
So what? You know what I was arrested? I was arrested for a murder. Does that make me a murderer?
Weren't you also arrested for a drill heist?
Many of them.
Didn't you do them?
Yes,
Okay.
and I was convicted and put in prison for it. And I did my time. But that does not make me going forward. I did my time, correct? Should I be judged now for that?
We're not talking about that.
Yes, we are.
We're not absolutely.
Because she said, I'm reading. She's reading about that. Believe me, I hope she does that to me off air. Because you can read all about him. I don't like him. I think he's misogynistic. I think there's a lot of things. But I don't think he did anything illegal. There's no woman who ever came up and said, he raped me, threw me down and raped me. Oh, they were making money on OnlyFans because he was doing that, and he was taking too big of a money cut. It's one of the. He had a school for bullshit. Listen, the guy was a scammer, if you want to talk of that. I think, until he's convicted. Listen, I say O.J. Simpson's innocent, if you know who he is.
I know who OJ is.
Okay, he is innocent. He was found to be innocent. Yes, he is innocent, Nick. Listen, I was the expert on that whole case. You know that. You know I was the expert on that case, Michelle, right? I was the expert on that case.
Put that baby in a bag.
No,
we can
let me.
We can all agree on that one.
I spent weeks on that case. I was the expert on that. Do you know the case?
And killed her, and then still be innocent.
Okay, you know the case too, right? I was the expert on case. If you look on the tapes, you look me up. I'm on TV every day. I was on CNN and Fox News every day on that case for weeks and weeks and weeks. What's going to happen to it? Where's it going to go? Legally, let's get this straight. What you think means shit and what I think means shit. That's why we have people that are called jurors who hear all the facts, hear all the evidence in a way presented to them without being biased. We're all biased by whatever news channels we watch. Every one of us here.
I never watch any news channels.
Oh, you go on the internet. That's even worse. I know that. I'm on it. So my point, you are swayed one way or the other by whatever information you know. And you don't know it all. That's the difference between the law. And until you understand.
Law doesn't know it all. There are innocent people in jail.
Absolutely, because the jurors got it right. But you know what? They're in jail. So they are guilty as far as the eyes of the world are.
So you just proved my point.
Again, they are guilty, just like O.J. Simpson is innocent.
But he can still
and
have
Casey
done it.
Anthony is innocent.
But she still could have done it.
Oh, I could have done it.
Okay, cool.
And they didn't look where my whereabouts were. So my point again is going to be, we are all innocent until proven guilty. Correct? See? You guys are the ones who are fucking up our Constitution. You young guys. All four of you. I didn't hear you yet, but we are supposed to believe in the Constitution of the United States. Don't get me on this fucking
But then
subject.
flip it
This
to
is
all
my
the
era.
innocent people who are in prison.
Listen, Nick, first of all, there's no system that's perfect.
Okay.
We got a pretty
There we
good
go.
system.
You're just proving the point.
But we got a
She can
pretty-
put the baby in the bag and still be innocent. Can we drop it at that?
She was never proven to put a baby in a bag.
Okay,
Let me get
okay.
that
That's my. Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
but she
see?
still could have done it.
They just know how to light me up.
Yeah.
I'm going to go to a wedding and be arguing with the whole young set.
Oh, don't be that person.
No, I never. I love them. They know. I'll hang out with them and smoke joints and do some K or do something with them.
Don't do K at the wedding. Do not
No,
do K
K's
at that
fun.
wedding.
Yeah, K-hole. Oh, come on. You guys have been in a K-hole? They have K clinics now. You guys know that, right?
They got drops. They
have
bring
K
out
clinics.
IV bags.
You knew that, right, Michelle? Yeah. About K clinics? They also use an acid in a very good way. Acid is one of the number one drugs they use for PTSD.
Mushrooms.
Acid, too.
I know, but it's more mushrooms.
They're using it for PTSD, and they're finding out how good it is and how the government lied to us for all these years about, the deadly, just like pot. I had friends of mine. I had a guy on this show who's the biggest pot dealer in the United States. His last load of marijuana was 190,000 pounds, 95 tons, and 95,000 tons, and it was $55 million. And they put him in prison for life. And he got out now, but it goes to show you the laws changed and stuff like that. But we're going to have a great wedding. I want to congratulate David and Michelle right here because this is out Tuesday, and the wedding will be over. And if you hear me Friday, that means I survived. And I'll be on their honeymoon. Where you guys going? Punta Cana. I've been there. That's going to be fun. Uh-oh. All inclusive? Mm-hmm. Uh-oh. Damn. Should have made that a destination wedding for all of us and fucked you up.
All 186 of us.
Yeah, honey. I know. What a big wedding. I had 300 at my wedding, so just think how big that was. But thank you very much, Owen. Really, you're welcome to come back. I like to hear different perspectives from an intelligent guy. And I wish you well in anything you do, of course. You're a good guy. Nick, anything?
No.
Nope. Anything from the gallery? Nope. All right, everybody, let's stay safe. Please make good choices. Have fun. Don't let people tell you what to do, and be yourself. Have a great day, everybody.
It's definitely something you should hear.
This is The Real Deal with Larry Lawton.